3 hours before high tide even hits. This is what we're dealing with. My front lawn is completely underwater. Help me!
This is Ariel Helwani in Baldwin, New York on Long Island alongside UFC middleweight contender Chris Weidman. It is Thursday afternoon, November 1st. We are a couple of days removed from Hurricane Sandy, which has crippled the northeast of the United States, and unfortunately for Chris and his family, his house was very much affected by the storm. First off, Chris, thank you so much for allowing us to come to your home. I know this is not the most ideal time. You got the beard, you're probably very tired.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
No problem.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I don't feel bad for myself at all, just because I really can't even feel bad for myself looking around at other people who have it a lot worse off than me. So I'm fine. Everything in the house is going to be fixable at some point. We're going to be out the house for a while, so that's going to be tough. But in a year or two, we'll be fine. As far as looking back, it's just going to be an experience. There's other people who are a lot worse than me, my neighbors. So I can't feel bad for myself. I'm tired. I haven't slept that much. I've been here trying to work and clean stuff up the best I can, but I'm okay.
You've been kind enough to allow us to come to your house. We appreciate it. We'll take a small tour, but if you could give us just a brief timeline of how things have gone for you, beginning from when you started to realize that your house may be in trouble when the storm started to come in.
Yeah, I guess a couple of days before we found out that it was going to be kind of like Irene, maybe even a little worse with the flooding, but we did not expect anything like this. But what we did, we threw sandbags on our garage, and we planked up, we duct taped our garages, and we thought maybe it would get in there a little bit, and we were prepared for that, maybe like an inch or two. The worst storm we've ever had was Irene, and it didn't even get in my garage, ever in the history of Bay Colony. This is my area here, and it got really high in our garage, about up to here. So it was devastating. Got in my house, obviously, and there was nothing we could do. All the sandbagging, all the tape, we tried everything, and everybody on this block got tortured. We all got beat up really bad. But at least I have family in the area where I could go stay, so I'm fortunate with that. A lot of people have nowhere to go. My next door neighbor, he's in trouble. He's 70-something years old. His wife is sick. He has a friend up in North Baldwin, and he's not the type of guy who likes to inconvenience people and stay in other people's houses. I mean, it's just not a comfortable feeling to be doing at 70-something years old. So I feel bad for people like that. People who lost their houses for good, got their kids, and they have no friends out here. It's tough.
And when did it start to affect your home? Like, was it, a lot of us started to feel the storm Monday. Did it happen sooner because you're close to the water? When did things really start to happen?
Ours was high tide on Sunday night, I believe, because the biggest thing, I live on the water, was the high tide was what we were really worried about. And we had a full moon also, so it was like double whammy. And when the high tide started coming in, it was literally like, I knew we were in trouble when it was like 3 hours, 4 hours before high tide was even here, and there was waters completely in my street, up on my front lawn and stuff like that. People canoeing, and people thought it was funny, and I thought it was, we're having a good time, until you realize, oh my God, this is actually going to be coming in my house. Like, we have a 3-foot crawl space, so we figure, all right, that's going to get filled up, and then maybe like a little bit in the garage, but we didn't expect it to go 6 feet up, past that. So no one was prepared. Everything's ruined, and everybody's stuff is gone.
Do you mind showing us around?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, so this is my garage. Everything was once organized and nice on the side. We had a lot of sentimental stuff in here. We had like bins literally stacked up to here, across this whole wall that we thought would be pretty good. So it wasn't what we expected. Everything ended up flipping over in here, being ruined. But during the hurricane, I came out and I started trying to salvage some stuff and bring it upstairs. But we lost a lot of stuff,
And where were you when all this was happening?
I was running around. I was in the water,
Up to there?
Up to there, yeah. Just
You're running around
trying to
doing
grab.
what?
I'm like, my wife's gonna kill me. I mean, this is
She's
all
getting
like
mad at you.
a lot of kids' clothes that she really wanted to keep. I mean, a lot of stuff, So
So you're running back and forth doing what? Trying to move it away from the water?
just grabbing it, trying to bring it upstairs to the highest point in the house, and we just didn't expect it. And then eventually, we duct taped every door going to the house. We locked ourselves in the house, and then the water collapsed through all our duct tape and got in the house, and then it was pretty much done. I mean, water was actually coming through the ground, through our floors, so it was just a water tape. It's not like it was just rain outside. It was flooding, from the ground coming up. We had the water coming through the bathtub pipes into the house, you know, filling the bathtubs up, you know, so it was crazy.
Wow. And this was Monday, right?
Yeah.
And were you alone?
No, I was with my cousin. He owns the house with me, and so
He was
first floor.
helping
We
you
saved
out.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, we didn't sleep. We were up all night, just bringing things from downstairs upstairs, trying to save some things, and a lot of people left their houses behind, and we ended up staying.
Why
And,
did you
we
leave?
Saved a lot of stuff. What?
Didn't they tell you to evacuate?
Yeah, we had to evacuate, but we didn't. The real reason why we stayed was because our bulkhead could have got ruined in the back, because our dock, when it comes up, it catches when it comes up and it starts going down to low tide, the dock catches onto the bulkhead, and it'll break everything, break our bulkhead, break the dock. So we had to stay here and get ready to sledgehammer it off if that happened. And then we didn't expect all the water to come in the house and everything like that, and then that was just a new problem.
So you have to throw all this out?
Yeah, but we're not allowed to throw it out until insurance actually sees it. So we have to deal with all this crap in our house. So insurance comes and sees what what really happened.
Right.
You know, keep walking.
Yeah.
Watch your step. And this is actually really clean compared to how it was. There goes my tools that I had. I think it's already rusted, because the salt water is no joke.
Right.
It completely filled up our 3-foot crawl space, and then completely filled up our garage, filled up our house, and it never happened before. So once we started realizing it was going into our house and there was a chance it might get into this floor, we ended up jacking up our washer and our dryer. We brought our dryer from what's usually in the garage and brought it inside the house. We jacked this up on some wood, but the water was too high for even that. This got flipped over and was upside down and completely ruined. This refrigerator, which is a pretty big refrigerator, was completely just floating in the water.
And how did you get the water out? Did you pump it, or did it just?
Nah, just
low tide.
There was no pumping. We had no electric. So we don't have a generator. And anybody that had a generator, you couldn't pump, because it's not like rainwater comes in, where you could pump it back out. Not, regular flooding. You can't pump it anywhere. There's so much water outside, it's not going anywhere. It's just going to be in your house. So there's no such thing as pumping when the water's coming in. When the water's going out, you could pump, but we have no electricity. And the water really just went away fast when the tide went down.
When did you lose electricity?
Maybe like 7 o'clock.
On
7 p.m. on Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah. We were doing good, and I actually had that caught on video. I was videoing outside where the water was coming down our street, and all of a sudden the lights went out.
These lights go out. This is the last you'll see, and that's it.
We still don't have lights. We're not gonna have lights for a while.
How long did they say you'll be out with?
I don't know. I think anywhere from 17 to 15 days.
Wow.
Oh, 7 to 15 days.
Okay.
But
This is your backyard.
You wanna go in the backyard?
Sure.
So our trampoline stayed good. That was the most important thing.
That is very important.
Our deck kind of got beat up. This is all messed up. We thought it was actually floating, but it actually settled down, and we could walk on this thing now. The big part, the stairs all kind of got messed up.
Did you have to actually replace all this?
Yeah, we probably
Yeah.
have to replace it all. This is all. The salt water just literally kills everything. It's not like it's the fresh water, So,
Right.
So everything. I mean, the water was up to the hot tub over that, and
It was over the hot tub.
yeah. I'll show you some good water lines. Be careful here. This is all broken. This stuff was all underneath our house. We had to clean it out the last 2 days, which this could have all went through the floors on the first floor with the water pressure bringing it up. We're lucky that didn't happen.
So
And,
did you chop this up?
No, that was just in there. We just pulled
Oh,
it out.
really?
Yeah. This tree was falling on our house over here, and we chopped it down during the storm. It was crazy because it was windy and stuff, and chopped it down, and
You did all this.
yeah, we chopped
Okay.
this up. Yeah.
Were you afraid that the tree would fall on your house at any point?
This is the one tree we were worried about, but it didn't fall.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
So over here this is the water,
This is the water.
which leads to what?
The bay, to the
Okay.
ocean. The bay was actually splashing on houses like it was the ocean, like an ocean on like a jetty. It was
Yeah.
It was nuts. The power of we literally had waves in here. You could see someone's dock is completely off, and our dock was probably about this high, You know, we had to come out here. Probably the biggest thing we did. My jet ski dock. I don't even have a jet ski, but I have a jet ski dock. Well, I was completely broke off, you know. But I'd rather that just I wish that just left. I wish I'd never seen it again. I don't want to fix it. But so me and my cousin, we came out here, and this tree was going to end up breaking this because this was across on both sides, and we ended up sawing and knocking off all the 2x4s that were going to be hitting this and causing damage to our dock and the ramp going down to the dock. So I'm glad we did that.
Do you have to replace this as well?
What's that?
Do you have to replace all this as well?
Yeah, I guess
Probably.
so. I mean, the inside's going to be the priority, but.
And what about, you know, obviously looking around here, your neighbors, do you feel like you got it worse, the same, better
No, that's
than
why,
them?
like, I don't feel sorry for myself at all, because how could I with all these neighbors? They're a lot worse than us, you know. We have places to go. We're fortunate enough to have family around. I'm going to be fine. Everything in my house is fixable. There's nothing for me to really, I don't feel bad for myself at all. It's just, I really want to help other people around here because they're in a lot worse shape. Like you said, my house is really high for this street. 2 houses down, the house got crushed by a tree. He has no crawl space, no 3-foot crawl space, so he probably had about 5 feet of water throughout his whole house, 5-6 feet of water. You know, he's in trouble, and some people don't have flood insurance, you know.
Do you have?
I have flood insurance. If you live on the water, you're supposed to, I thought you needed flood insurance, but my next door neighbor doesn't have it. But I think it's because he has no mortgage, and it has something to do with that. He's been here forever. But even like 7 blocks down, away from the water, people, why would you ever have flood insurance? There's never been water anywhere close. My father-in-law, his whole house all the floorings and the walls are done. You know, he had a car in the driveway 7 blocks away from the water. Everyone around here, they knew to get their car out of here, but down 7 blocks away, no one had any idea it would get that far. Car was completely done, you know. In the cup holders, there's water in the cup holders of the car.
Wow.
So there's a lot of people that with a lot bigger problems than me.
And were you here during Hurricane Irene?
I was here during Hurricane Irene, and
How does this compare?
I thought that was terrible. We just had bought the house. I'm like, what did we do? But a lot of people around us got hurt worse than us because our house is higher. Our water basically got up to the garage and didn't come in. And our backyard flooded, like the steps on the deck came off a little bit, but nothing too severe. And that was the worst they've ever seen. Like my neighbor who's been here forever, that was the worst. He couldn't expect it to be worse than that. And this completely dominated that performance of Irene.
Wow. And would you characterize this community as a community? Like, do you know everyone? Are you
Well,
in
you know what?
contact?
This really united everybody. Like everyone was helping each other out. Like my neighbors across the street and my next door neighbors. Everyone was really came together and helped each other out. It was nice to see. Like I really bonded with my neighbors. Like one of my dad's friends, the back of his house got completely ripped off his house by his kitchen, completely ripped off, and he went and took like 2 hours to get pizza for him and his wife. Came back with a pie, and his neighbor was hungry. He ended up giving his whole pie to his neighbor.
Really?
You know, I mean, it's just like the giving was huge, and his poor wife and him are now eating like canned beans or something.
Wow.
You know, so a lot of just really generosity went on. I think New York really came together, and they came together and with 9/11, and they're doing it again, and we'll be all right. But it's not easy, you know, and we need help. It was definitely scary coming out here, especially with this big tree, and it was more like the trees that were pretty scary. Any second they could fall on you. So, but we were good. It was good that we stayed back and worked together because we brought a lot of stuff upstairs where you needed 2 people to
Right.
get upstairs too. So it was, no one wanted us to stay, but they were happy we did after the hurricane.
So how long do you think it'll take before this house is livable again?
We're hoping for Christmas, but we literally have no idea. No one's really ever gone through this before around here, so no one's experienced, and no one really can tell us what's going to happen. But we called the insurance people, and basically they told us between 24 and 72 hours they'll get back to us, so they'll call us back, and they will then make an appointment with us. And who knows how long the appointment's going to take to actually get them in here with all the people that were damaged. And then once they get in here, they're either going to assign us with a contractor and then give us a time when he's going to come back, and or we're gonna pick our own, and they have to like check him out and make sure he's, you know, gonna do a good job. And so who knows? And then, you know, we have kids, so we have to worry about the mold. We have to make sure there's no mold coming up. You know, the salt water is a really, you know, it's a pain in the butt, so it's gonna be a problem. And I don't know, no idea. It's, you know, all these floors have to get ripped up. These walls are gonna be completely, you know, new walls, because we have to cut these walls now because the salt water is gonna travel up and inflame the walls. So we have to cut them out now, so not too much of the wall gets ruined.
So what will you do between now and then? Where will you live?
I'm gonna live with my parents.
Okay.
You know, so live with my parents, and you know, like you said, I don't know what's going on, man. Like it's so new and still numb to the situation. Me and my wife, we really haven't even got to sit down and figure out what we're gonna do. But yeah, so basically during the storm, my cousin and I, like we couldn't believe the water actually started coming in here. It was like a shock, and we're like, oh my God, everything on the floor, we have to save it. So we were literally just all night long, just pulling things up, bringing them upstairs, pulling things up, bringing it upstairs, trying to save things, hiking things up like this couch. Just trying to be creative, throwing this up on this little desk. You know, this couch got ruined, this big white one. We couldn't do anything with that. The bottoms got ruined. So
any of the stuff here saved? Like, did it
saved,
go up to this couch?
No. It was like here.
Okay.
So if anything on the floor, like all these legs, I mean, the salt water got to them.
Right.
You know? They look all right now, but who knows? They're definitely not gonna be what they used to be. All the mattresses, we just literally just bring it upstairs. Even in the bathroom, in here, the water started coming through the tub, like through the pipes of inside the tub, coming up. You know, so water was coming through, whether we had the doors locked perfectly, you know, with all the tape and everything. It was coming in the house through the floors, through the pipes. There was no way of stopping it. You know, everybody, was trying to do a good job to prevent the worst things from happening, and no one stopped it from coming in their house. There's not one person here, you know, and everything's just it's a mess, man. It's a mess. This couch, I think we saved this one. Threw it up on the fireplace, and
Was there a point where?
we were barefoot. I was barefoot. I had boots on, big rain boots that my dad bought me the day before, and they were literally up to my knees. And the water just went in, and I couldn't wear them. So I was barefoot, running back and forth outside. If I had to run outside, everything was barefoot.
Wow.
There's no boots.
Even out here?
You can't wear boots.
Right.
Yeah. So I was just wearing jeans and barefoot, running around, trying to just
Was
save
there ever
as
a
much.
point where you sort of, obviously I've never been in a situation like this, where you kind of lose hope, where you're like, what the hell is going on to my house? Or were you just too focused on working and saving things where you couldn't really?
It was good to have someone else here with me, my cousin, to like we were just on each other, you know, let's keep going, we gotta save that, like, you know. It would have been easy to be like, yo, the water's not getting in our house, and then once it did start coming in, be like, you know what, we're screwed, and not try to save anything. But if we had that attitude, we wouldn't have saved a lot of stuff we did. We saved a lot of stuff, a lot of clothes, a lot of furniture, mattresses, everything. You know, upstairs I'm an absolute mess now because everything's just thrown in there.
Right. But it didn't get upstairs though, right?
No, the water didn't get upstairs, but it stinks up there now because all the salt water on everything, and I don't know, I guess everything's like corroding. I don't know, everything just stinks. Well, you gotta realize also, my garbage from the garage was floating in here. It was literally going from the garage, floating all the way in here. My cousin Jesse just found a bag of my daughter's clothes that was in the garage in here. I mean, just stuff was just floating from one area to the next. We had an axe. I had it in the perfect place because we were gonna have to knock the dock off the bulkhead, and we had it on our dryer. The dryer tipped over. We could not find that axe. We found it like on the other side of the garage, you know, the next day, and we needed that. But
And the other neighbors of yours who evacuated, so all this.
see, you know, my neighbor over here, he has a 3-foot crawl space. He put a pump and everything in the bottom where if it senses water, it's going to start pumping, but the pumps didn't do anything once the water came in. And he wasn't around, so his whole first floor, you know, 2 feet in the first floor was completely ruined. If he was here, he might have been able to salvage some stuff. But, you know, a lot of people that cared about, my wife didn't want me to stay here. No one really wanted us to stay here, but really, you know, we're staying. And our excuse at the time was we know there's going to be a problem with that dock and with the bulkhead. We knew it was going to rip our bulkhead off if we don't stay here and be able to sledgehammer it off. So that was the reason we stayed. We didn't expect it really to get in the house. Maybe the garage, maybe. Just a little bit, but not like it was.
Was there ever a point where you were actually afraid for your life?
I was actually having a, like in the beginning, I'm gonna have my boots, I got my rain jacket, I'm shotgun, I'm gonna be walking around like, you know, like Armageddon. But then when it started getting serious, it was no joke. Yeah, I wasn't having fun anymore. It was more like, you know, you're panicking, you know, and When I'm coming outside, I was just very aware. I was sprinting back into my house because the winds were so strong. I think they were gusting at like 120 or something like that. The winds were so strong, you're just seeing things falling over, and you're in knee-deep, water on my deck over here, and it's just like I'm, freaking out. I actually got electrocuted. My pump, I figured the next day or when the tide was going down, we're gonna need that pump. I had it in my crawl space down there, and so I went to grab it to bring it back. I like swam through, got it. I'm gonna bring it. I started getting electrocuted by the freaking pump.
Wow.
I don't know how, but I got electrocuted. Freaked out. I actually punched the house. I think it messed with my central nervous system or something. I didn't get mad. Like, it made me mad. That was like the only thing that made me feel. I don't know. There's probably some science behind it, but I literally just like freaked out. I punched the house, and then I got back inside the house. I was like, that thing's probably done anyway.
Wow.
And we ended up not even needing a pump because the water just ended up leaving on its own.
Right.
We had this kayak here. We thought we would go out for fun and crawl around. Who knows if we had to evacuate or something, but we had this, but there was no way I was getting in this kayak with the way it was like literally waves in my backyard. Our sidings got ripped off pretty good with the wind, and actually during the storm, another reason it was good I was here was that the siding was actually getting ripped by the wind into our window and would have broke our window. So I had actually open up the window and grab the siding and rip it off. It was only like a siding like this big, and then I guess eventually my siding got really ripped off. At some point, the side of my house is actually even worse. But I mean, just look at the basketball hoop. We didn't even know where this was from. It was actually from maybe like 10 houses down, floated here.
Oh, that's not even yours.
This is not ours. This is not my basketball hoop.
Wow.
I know you like basketball. I like basketball too, but it wasn't my
showed
basketball
up here.
hoop. Showed up here the next morning, floated from all the way down there. And that's one of my workers. That's John Vellante.
Strike Force.
The only reason he's here right now is because Ariel's here. I've been begging for help from everybody. Now he comes because Ariel.
Good work, John. Well done.
He definitely came here before the cameras when he's wearing nice Converses
to
work. Come on. This is a working man.
And a
this
UFC
is truly
hat.
here because I'm forced to be here.
Is he allowed to wear a UFC hat, by the way?
Hey, John, why do you have a UFC hat on? He tells people he's a UFC fighter.
Now, he also lives on Long Island, right?
He lives on Long Island, too.
Everything okay with you, John?
Yeah.
Not too bad. You're just helping out your friend.
He lives off the water.
At least you're getting some. At least you're getting some work in, right?
Yeah, getting a good workout. Get lifted.
He says you only showed up because the cameras were here. True or false?
Obviously, I got a good shave, did my hair, wore my good shoes.
You actually did. That's not sarcasm. That's not sarcasm. It stops there.
Glad you wore my good pants.
These are his. These actually saved me in the storm because I went through 3 pairs of jeans because I'm walking through my house up and down, and then the jeans get soaking wet. And I'm getting freezing cold because obviously we have no heat or anything, and I had to just keep trying to change and put on new jeans. And ended up, these are my nice comfy pants I'm using now. I have no jeans left.
Every one of my fights.
Really?
Since my first fight in those pants.
And
wearing them around here in the storm like it's nothing.
And now, will you still?
Yeah, it might be good luck. You didn't drown. So.
Yeah, I'm still alive. Still alive.
But your house is okay.
Yeah, we're okay. Just fence got blown off a little bit, but nothing that can't be fixed. Nothing too bad. Nothing inside the house, which is
right.
real bad. But just the fence got blown off, and a couple trees around the house knocked down, but nothing on our house or anything like that. So.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Do you want to show us around just quickly around the neighborhood here?
Yep. You want to walk this way?
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll come back.
Down here, there's actually I don't know how it's looking now. It's a few days after the storm, but someone's side of a house ended up on top of someone's car in front of their house, and then someone's roof got ripped off and ended up on someone else's roof. This is a little closer to the bay. This whole area is a peninsula. There's 2 streets. This roof is from a house on the other street. I don't know how long, like 100 yards away.
Wow.
And other houses in between came all the way over there.
This is someone's roof. Someone doesn't have a roof now.
Someone doesn't have a roof, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't feel bad for myself. If I was the only house on the street to have water in my house, then I feel bad for myself. But
Right.
people are a lot worse off. It's going to be inconvenient. It's not convenient to have this happen to me. I never could imagine this happening to me, but I'll get over it and whatever.
Let's check out the bay over there. I'm assuming not a lot of trick-or-treating here yesterday.
Not here, nothing. Oh, this is the new house. This is the new house. My friends my age bought literally a month, 2 months ago.
Really?
And look what happened. They were actually, they left after the storm. There was like 4 people that lived there. They had all their belongings on their back, anything that didn't get completely ruined in the storm. Walking out of here, the streets were like thigh deep, and they're just walking out there. I'm like, what are you guys doing? They thought that high tide the next day was going to be worse than what it was the night before. They just got out of here. But high tide ended up being normal.
Wow.
They are.
Would you say you were one of the few people to stay back here?
I know I stayed at my house, and neighbor across the street did. He's a firefighter. The guy across the street next door to him did. He's a cop. And we were all, I'm looking at them, we had a flashlight, so everyone made sure everybody was okay.
Oh, really?
We couldn't get across to each other because the streets were streaming. It was, I mean, it was, I don't know, maybe like this. Our window, I gotta show you back at my house, but things were floating by our windows. Like, the window was here, and the water was like right here. It was close to coming into our windows.
So you were communicating with them?
A little bit. You know, I just seen that they were okay.
Right.
I saw the flashlights.
You weren't having conversations?
No, I wasn't doing like this, like
Right.
doing signs with our flashlights. See, like the garage bottom things just got ripped out. The water was just so powerful. It literally just ripped out the bottom of a garage. It's not easy to do. This is just another piece of a house. There's floor over here. They actually broke it apart. It was like a huge house. Basically like a little mini house was over here.
Really?
And that's just
that has nothing to do with any of these houses.
nothing to do with these houses. It's from another house. I don't even know where the house is. Yeah.
And
We had a dock in our backyard, someone else's dock. We had everywhere. There was
anyone get hurt that you know of?
no.
That's good.
People got ripped apart. I mean, just look, everyone's mattresses. That just tells you everything on the first floor. Anything in their bedrooms completely gone. Couches gone. This boat was originally facing us, and it ended up the water pushing into the neighbor's house. It's crazy.
And it's obviously pretty quiet around here. Are you afraid of looters, people coming
Yeah,
in?
well, like I stayed the next night just in case, because there was a lot of suspicious people rolling through here because they know this area got hit really hard. So I know a lot of people have gone. So every time I leave, I tell my neighbor, watch out for my house for me. And there's been a lot of suspicious people. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure I witnessed the beginning of a burglary on some store when I was driving home. It was getting dark, and there was a guy like looking back and forth and right in front of a store. And I was with my wife and my kids, and so I'm like, maybe pull over a second. I'm thinking I might jump out and say something, but I'm like, I have no gun, I have no knife, I have nothing, and he probably has a gun. And I'm just like, this ain't smart. I just literally just kept going. Pretty sure he did something. And then yesterday we had no food really, so there ended up being this little Chinese food place that was open. It was completely dark out, and they had a bunch of candles in there, and that was all. And I guess they have a gas grill, so that's how they were cooking. And I'm parked up in front with my minivan, and I'm chilling there. My wife is in there getting the food, and the cops start coming alongside me. 2 cops with flashlights, and they thought we were stealing from the place because, I mean, they just didn't know. They didn't know what was going on. It looked suspicious, I guess. But yeah, a lot of looting, a lot of people trying to, take advantage of this time and steal. But there's definitely more people helping each other out than I see of that. But there's some, dirtbags coming down here trying to take advantage of people. But everybody's got each other's back, and if you're one of those people, we got guns.
Do you really?
I have a shotgun. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know how to load it, but
Well,
I
that's
could go,
good.
and hopefully they run.
Yeah.
I'll point at them.
Do you feel, Chris, as though you will be taken care of? Because you hear oftentimes with disasters and whatnot that people feel like they've been ignored, community is ignored, people don't come for several months. Are you confident that, not just with your house insurance, but like this, you pay to live in such a beautiful area? Do you feel like the city will take care of you guys and reconstruct all of this?
Yeah, I'm sure eventually, but how much can they really do? I mean, there's so much damage everywhere. I don't know how fast it's going to happen. I'm sure eventually, I'm sure they're going to take care of us, but it's going to be a while. I mean, life has definitely changed for everyone down here, for a long time, and maybe forever. And I'm pretty confident that eventually, stuff like this they'll take care of. But it's just so much stuff. This was no joke. I mean, which was really crazy. The morning after the big hit, there's still water like you wouldn't believe in the street, probably 4 feet of water. And all these fire trucks were trying to come down because they smelled gas. Actually, I think a gas line got taken off this house here, and I guess was floating in the water, and that could be a real bad thing. So they were coming down with fire trucks, and they couldn't. They broke down one fire truck trying to get through. So they stayed back, and this special operations team that came from Clinton. I don't know where Clinton is, but thank you for coming. A special operations team came down here with a Zamboni on the back of a truck and backed the Zamboni up, and the Zamboni was coming down my street, in the middle of my street, down here and they all got all dressed up, and they just came in here and figured out the problem and fixed it. But it was definitely cool how a lot of people from other areas came here to help.
And obviously one of the big things that people are wondering about is you have a fight coming up. You have a fight coming up on December 29th, a huge fight against Tim Boetsch. Yeah. Are you still going to fight? I'm
still going to fight, but right now it's just kind of, I don't know what's going on, as far as, when I'm going to be able to be in a good place to prepare, the way I should. Not mentally, just physically, just being in a house where, I'm comfortable and I could be in and out of the house and have a little bit of organization. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. I have no idea. This is the biggest fight of my career, and I'm not taking Boetsch lightly at all. I'm so focused, but right now I'm not focused on that at all. I haven't even thought about it the last couple of days, just until you asked me now. But I just have to sit down with my wife and figure out what's going to happen. But right now, that's not even a thought, But I do know that this is the biggest fight of my career, and I do know that I got to go out there and win. But right now, I don't have it in me to even think about that.
Is there a chance that you may, at some point, is that a possibility that you may at some point say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't fight on December 29th and delay the fight?
I don't want to. There's not a part of me that wants to, but I'm not going to say that there's not a chance, because there's a lot that just happened. My family is, in a tough spot right now. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and if I need to focus on getting my house back together, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't want it to be a big thing for me. I hope that I could just get the insurance in there and they take care of it, but I don't know what's going to happen yet. I just hope I don't have to have a big hand in everything. I need to be focused on that December 29th fight, and that's really it, but I don't know what's going to happen.
When would your training camp have started?
I would have been leaving to South Dakota tomorrow, and then we were actually going to go hunting and stuff, meet a bunch of sponsors and talk to a bunch of doctors, like all little nagging injuries. They're going to get us set up and for that, and then start our fight camp. The beginning of our fight camp on Monday, and then in South Dakota, and just start there. That would have been that's pretty much 8 weeks out. So
you done your whole camp in South Dakota?
No, I was going to do 1 week there because they have a bunch of doctors down there. They have a really lot of good facilities down there at Sanford. So I was going to start my fight camp there and get all healthy, get all the doctors checking me out. Vellante was going down, Gray Maynard was going down there with whoever he had, Ryan Bader, CB Dollar. We were all going to be there and get my fight camp going. And then, but now it doesn't look like I'm going down there right now, at least not tomorrow, but maybe Monday. That's what I'm saying. I just don't know. I haven't talked to my wife really yet. And
do you think you'll even be in the right mental state to leave your family on Monday? That's in
That's
3
what
days.
I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not leaving my family on Monday if I feel like my family needs me. That's for sure.
Right.
If I feel like they're in a good spot and she's good and my daughter and my son are going to be good, and then I'll leave and get start worrying about myself as far as fighting Boetsch. But right now I can't be selfish to think about that. I got to worry about my family.
And what about Ray Longo's gym, which is your home gym, if you will?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I think so. It's probably just lost power. If you weren't by the coastal, if you weren't on the water like I am, or near the water, you probably didn't get flooded because there wasn't a lot of rain. It was all just salt water, water coming in. And other people probably lost a lot of power with the winds knocking down trees on the power lines and stuff like that. Maybe some siding ripped off, but no one got hit like we did near the water.
So maybe is it a possibility that you don't go to South Dakota and just do your whole camp here so you can be closer to home?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm going to probably do my whole camp here, but where am I going to stay? It's going to be that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough staying at my parents' house, going into one little room where my daughter and my son are both in. I have a 4-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, and one starts crying and the other's crying, and it's going to be hard to be in one room. But yeah, and just no organization. My clothes are all here. Everything's a mess. My life is just a mess right now. Everything's a mess. I don't know where anything is. Clothes are just thrown all over the place. Clothes are wet. I have no underwear right now. I have underwear on right now.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
But I don't have any more underwear for tomorrow. I got to freaking get my life together. So there's a lot to just focus on and get myself organized before I even can think about. I got to get myself in some type of organized state before I even think about, training.
And just curious, has the UFC reached out to you?
Actually, yeah, my manager, I don't get service down here really at all, down in South Baldwin where I live. If I go to my parents, I get a little phone service, but Dana White got in touch with my manager and was just basically like, get in touch when the dust settles, and just real sorry, just reached out. It's nice to have that. I've seen like some things on Twitter. I just have a tremendous amount of support from MMA community along with the UFC and Dana White. It's nice to have that. My cousin's a phys ed teacher at Roslyn High School. I mean, he doesn't have his boss calling him to make sure, does he need anything like this and that. I mean,
right.
It's being in the UFC and having Dana White as your boss definitely has some perks, man. They take care of you. They want you to be focused on fighting and performing for them. So it was really nice to hear that Dana White called.
You may not notice it now because you're not, very much connected to the internet and things like that, but you are obviously a very big news story. Everyone's talking and asking about you, and fighters sending out tweets and things like that. The MMA community has a way of sort of rallying around people when things like this happen. Have you felt it at all, or is it a little too fresh
when
now?
I went home last night, I went on Twitter a little bit. I couldn't even scroll down through all the comments. So anybody who reached out to me, I really appreciate it, and thank you for that. And it means a lot to have that type of support, and that's what makes me want to help all these other people even more, because a lot of people don't have that type of support. So I try to reach out to my manager. I don't even know if he got the text, but I want to try to start some type of fund to help all the other people that don't have a place to stay right now and don't have a warm house to be in. My parents just got power last night, so I can't imagine these some people who have kids and stuff like that who are living in their house and it's cold and wet and getting moldy and smells. Those are the people that really need help right now, and I would love to somehow take all that support from the MMA and throw it into a fund and really help some people out.
That's great to hear. So let's walk around a little more back to your house, and then we will call it a day. All right, so we're back at your house here. I got to see this tree over there. You'll take us there, but tell me about, you were just telling me off camera about your windows and what we were seeing outside.
Oh yeah, so I was in this window here, and literally the water was, you see the little bricks that are lined underneath there, facing up? The water was literally right on the bottom of that. So like a basketball hoop would be floating right by my windows. It was nuts. Everything was just floating right by in front of the windows. Another 2 inches and that thing's going through our windows into the house, the water. So it was pretty crazy. It was a lot of deep water. See, this guy is 2 houses away from me, and I feel bad for him more than anybody, because for Irene, his house is the only house to really get beat up bad. He has no crawl space, so everybody else has crawl space where it has to hit like 3 feet or higher to really get into your garage or even your even further for your house. He has no crawl space, so everything in his house got ruined. He was the only house on the whole block for Irene got ruined. Refrigerator, he was bringing everything out. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't imagine that happening to somebody where their rugs, all their flooring is ruined, and now it's happened to us. But now this time, obviously his whole house is completely destroyed again with the water. But on top of it, a tree falls through his house, so, and it's tough.
Was he there when this happened?
He was, I don't know if he was there. I don't think he was, because he doesn't have much room to run to. I'm not sure, but I don't think he was.
So the tree actually...
Yeah, I mean, this is as crazy of thing you get. Come in the mud with me,
All
Ariel.
right, sure. It'd be
Ariel,
a pleasure.
ruin your shoes with me.
It would be a pleasure.
Let's see.
Here we are.
Come on, pretty boy. There he goes. He actually did it. He stepped. Come on, keep coming in.
Okay.
More
okay.
mud. Stomp your
Okay.
feet. Stomp your feet. There
This
you go.
is fantastic.
Yeah,
This
but
is unbelievable.
how crazy is this?
Wow.
Mother Nature is no joke, because what happens, you have that salt water. It's literally for hours just sitting here and just pouring underneath and dampens all these roots, and then the wind is just so strong, just blowing everything over. So the trees were going down left and right. In the back of this house too, there's just 2 huge trees that came down right over the canal pretty much, and he actually left. My neighbor, he left for the storm, and he lost a lot of stuff inside, because he wasn't able to bring it anywhere to save it.
So what do the next couple of days look like for you? You're just going to be working here, trying to fix the house, go home at night to your parents' house. That's what you're focused on right now?
Pretty much. Wake up, come here, work. You know, it's crazy because there's a lot of stuff that got ruined that we want to throw out, but we can't because we have to keep it for the insurance reasons. So when they come, they don't you know, try to screw us. So we have to keep all the nasty stuff, and our house stinks because we had garbage. Our garbage was in our garage, completely ripped open, flowing through our whole house. You know, so everything just, it's disgusting in there. It's a mess. But yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna be here working and trying to get in touch with the insurance people and make sure that goes the way it goes, the way it should go, hopefully. And that's really it, man. And I gotta at some point figure out what I'm doing as far as training for the December 29th fight against Tim Boach, because that's obviously this is the biggest fight of my career, and I don't want to. I didn't get this far in my career to all of a sudden let a natural disaster just have me not train properly and not, you know, take it as seriously. So I have to make time for it at some point. But right now I have to focus on my family and getting my life sort of organized.
All right, Chris. Well, we'll let you go. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
No
and
problem.
Our hearts seriously go out to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's a pretty amazing thing coming from where we live, where we weren't affected as much to this. It's unbelievable. But your attitude is more unbelievable the way you're handling it. So we really appreciate it and wish you the best of luck.
And thanks for all the support. The MMA community has been awesome. It's a privilege to be a part of it.